Well, let's dive in and get started. I'm excited to tell you what we do here at iList, what we do for agents, specifically in the KV Core Sierra Interactive world. We'll kind of talk on those today since that seems to be where majority of everybody's from. We are not exclusive to those worlds, though. We work beautifully within Chime. We also syndicate to Follow Up Boss, YLOPO, a handful of others, right? So here's our elevator pitch. Here's our elevator pitch here at iList. We are a listing automated platform. Okay. And I know that's a very generic term, but our goals are very simple. We help agents attract sellers, engage sellers, and convert sellers all on your own personal website. Now, you're probably thinking like, well, I already have a website. It already has some seller functionality in there. And I'll agree with you. Most websites do. However, when is the last time you've actually been to your website and pretended you were a home seller? Right? Most agents I ask that to haven't done that in a very long time, if ever. And here's why I asked that question. Most websites out there are built to focus on one audience, buyers, right? And if your goal, like Jen, for example, if I were to ask you right now, who would you rather work with, buyers or sellers? Right? Sellers. Everybody says sellers. Well, then my question to you is your website designed to focus on, engage, and attract home sellers? And most of the time, the answer is no, right? That's where we come in. We help solve this issue for you, but we do so much more. But that, at a nutshell, is kind of what we do. All right, so I got a couple of websites that were given to me. So Jen, since you gave me yours first, I'm going to open yours up. And the reason I like going to real life websites is just to make sure people know, like, I'm not like picking out things that work. So Jen, I love Sierra Interactive sites. To me, they're clean, they're simple, they're powerful, right? But what audience is this mainly focusing on? Buyers, right? Now, what I do like about Sierra Interactive, Jen, is right under this, right, as a kind of a sub audience, you have a home valuation tool. So let's see how that works. Jen, I'm going to click on it, and I see a whole lot of text and the kiss of death that Sierra Interactive has, which is a crazy long form that nobody fills out. You know why nobody fills this out? Because I can go to Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, anywhere else in the world and get instant data without filling out all of these forms. So Sierra Interactive does it right by having it featured here. However, the way they engage with sellers is the kiss of death. It is a huge bounce point, right? So hold that thought, and I'll show you what we do in that world. All right, let's go to Joseph's site. And Joseph, I see yours is a EXP one. Let's check this out real quick. Let that open up real fast here. All right, so we have a KV Core site, right? So Joe, your website, even more than Sierra Interactive, this is a single purpose website, right? We have an address bar and virtually zero other mention of the word seller on the platform. And Joe, my guess is if I asked you the same question, I asked Jen, who is your desired audience in real estate, buyers or sellers? You would probably say sellers. Then why are we using websites that focus on one audience, right? This is what we're about to fix. So Joe, if I am a seller and I do find the sell button in the worst location in the smallest font possible, and I come up here and I type in an address, whoa, what can I type? So let's go to this address here. Look at what you give sellers. One value, a not available, and a random map. There's not even a call to action. There's not a button. There's nothing that I can do to actually engage or think about selling my house, right? These are items that we want to fix. And the reason I'm highlighting these is not poking fun at your websites. That's not my intention. It's to show you that the tools you have are buyer focused. And we need to fix that, especially in this instant gratification world that we live in, right? So check this out. Here's a Sierra Interactive site. Here's a Sierra Interactive site that we use. And this is a real life user of ours, really good guy up north. Check this out, Jen. On his website, we have buying a house. Here's his original functionality. But we also have selling a house now. Notice we add buying and selling to the hero image of his website because we want to appeal to both audiences. We also update this to our interactive home valuation tool. We add it up top. We do lots of things within Sierra. Now watch this. If I type in that exact same address, look at the difference here. Here's what he gives sellers: immediate data on their property. Notice there's no long questions. There's no forms. We don't even put a speed bump in front of the seller. We give them a value range for their neighborhood. We give them multiple data sources where we get this from. And last but not least, websites are built for what? Engagement, right? We give them tools to engage and take control of the value of their house. Because Jen, if this was your house right here, you would probably say, okay, that's cool. Value range makes sense. But my house has this or that. Every seller thinks the exact same way. So you have to give them tools to adjust for this or that. All of this is built in. So, right. So we focus on sellers, we engage sellers. And now let me show you how we convert. We start by teaching agents the power of options. As agents, we always have to be thinking, what are our consumers looking for? Right. And there's a couple of things we have to understand about our consumers. One, they know options exist. Right? Whether it's cash offers or something else, they know options exist. We have to make sure our websites offer those same options or they will go somewhere else. Right? Number two, the reason they will go somewhere else is because we live in an instant gratification world. Because if we're not giving our consumers exactly what they want when they want, they will bounce and they will go elsewhere. That's the last thing that we want to happen, right? So we start with selling options. Okay. Options are important because sellers expect them. And not only that, but when you offer options, your engagement with consumers, your seller audience gets larger and larger. So we start with traditional options. We have full service flat fees, or you can do a combo, which is kind of like a menu of services, right? We have the cash offer world, which I personally think every agent should have access to this world. And I will tell you this, we are the only platform in real estate right now that automatically connects you to Open Door, OfferPad, Zoodealio, and your own personal buyer list. So for example, Jen, instead of you having to go out and request cash offers manually, right, one at a time, you can literally click one button. We will send it everywhere for you in less than 5 seconds. Done. Makes it fast and easy. And here's the benefit behind this. Jen, by offering cash offers like this, instead of consumers going around you to get to them, they can now go through you to get them. It keeps you at the center of the transaction, and you're actually giving sellers multiple cash offers versus them getting one. So very, very powerful. Now, we also have a bidding platform. Has anybody over here ever used an auction style setup maybe, or like Zone was doing that thing way back when, auction.com? So we actually have a very similar product, only ours is agent centric. We call it our bidding platform. And basically the way this works is you can now go to your consumers, you can go to your home sellers and say, hey, we actually have a strategy where we move commissions from your side to the buyer side and we create competition on your listing. We use a buyer's premium. We use our bidding technology to drive that price higher and higher. So these are tools that you now have access to once again, offer a very unique strategy if you want. And then last but not least, we have my personal favorite here. We have our free FSBO listing platform, okay? Now, you're probably thinking I'm crazy for free being my favorite, but let me kind of unpack to you the power of free. One, just the word free is powerful in itself, right? But Jim, let's say that this year, this quarter, you want to engage more for sale by owners. Okay, that's your goal. Now, instead of you going to those FSBOs and having traditional scripts and traditional objections and all that, like we're all trained to do in real estate, what if you went to those FSBOs and said, hey, I get it. I don't blame you. I actually have a platform completely built for FSBOs and free. And here's how it works. Create a dashboard. You're going to have 24/7 access to your property, marketing links, offer tools, and showing service, all built in for free. If you're going to sell on your own, you might as well make it easy, right? And so, Jen, you're able to give them all of these tools completely for free, no strings attached. And here's why we do that. We play the odds. we know that 70+% of FSBOs will end up working with an agent.